Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on June 14th, 2022 at approximately 6:27 a.m. PST. Well, things went really well yesterday. It's a nice change. Couple of minor glitches, but welcome to life. If you look over here, I used to have five stacks of paper files and what have you that I had to go through that were all the way up to the wood bar right there. Now the thing is, as I said, in order to get your life in order, you're the one that has to make that decision. Now I've mentioned, especially where it comes to life. In my experience, I've been dealing with the consulting field now for 49 years. Okay, professionally for 36. But in that time, what I found is the most successful people in the world, seem to get up and get active between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. in the morning, local time. Well, I barely got out of bed in time. Okay, in all fairness, I slept in last night, but there were interruptions. Not an excuse, just a reality. So, got up, did what I needed to in the washroom. Got my teeth done, got my exercise done, got dressed, and well, here I am. Coffee ready to go. We're content. But yesterday when I was looking around, because in this world, the brain is the key to making things work. But the key to motivating things to work is your heart. And the two are solidly connected, even in your living quarters. The backbone of your house, and the house being the physical thing, is the finances, which take place in wherever you work on your finances. We'll call that's where the brain of your house is. But the brain of your home, the feel of the place, is in the same location. Okay, it is still in your office, wherever you work on your finances. Now, whether you've got one room or whether you've got 1,500 rooms, I don't think there's a house that somebody has that has 1,500 rooms. But, I mean, let's face it, apparently, if reports are correct, then I think the White House down in the States has something like 35 bathrooms, which is way bigger than my house. I mean, mine only has 2. But when you get the energy running properly, and this is why I'm pushing to get the clutter out of my house. And I was going to put that away. That doesn't make sense. I've got to use it in a little while. And of course, I don't have a pen right here. It's only an office. Why would I possibly have a pen here? Well, we'll use a pencil. Because as I've said, very important where it comes to organizing, the list method that I talk about absolutely works like a charm. There is no question there from my standpoint. Okay, and as I've mentioned before, the tools I offer are ones I personally use in order to get my own life running right. Now, back up half a second. Got that mess sorted out. My office is completely clear, except for 3 things that I require. My office being the working desk. Right. And the 3 things I've got that are not put away is I've got a book up here. Because of the fact I work on astrological horoscopes, forecasts for the day. Those I do by contract. So of course I've got that book there. It's got to be done as soon as I get into the office in a couple hours. Right now I'm sitting in the office because my normal routine, and it works like a charm for me. It has dropped my stress level. It's dropped my blood pressure level, my pulse, the whole 9 yards. I don't know what my blood pressure is right now, but this is an odd one. We're going to do this anyway, just because of the fact that I'm curious. Now, I'm expecting it to be a little high because I just got done my exercises. Pardon me for, well, no, don't bother. Like I said, this is a live recording. Okay, and because it's a live recording, I don't go back and change anything. I double check, make sure I've got the date right. Now, I'm no doctor by any functional stretch. But the way I figure it, if I keep tabs on what I'm going through, I can make sure that I'm staying outside of the hospital. I'm keeping my blood pressure and what have you reasonable. I'm betting that my pulse is going to be up a little. And no, I'm not going to turn this around, but this is what I was talking about keeping things running smoothly. Okay, you have to stay on top of your health, because I will tell you, if your health goes, you can't do anything else. You're just not functionally possible. Yeah, it's a little high. Like I said, I just got finished. But I'm looking at 136/89. Pulse is 82. But I've been active since 5 o'clock this morning, so I'm not surprised it's up. Where I concern myself is if it feels off. Right, if my blood pressure feels off, then I get on it right away. But I have discovered, and this is why I've mentioned the idea, that when we're talking energy, okay, you take your hands, put them about a 1/4 inch apart, and focus on them, and you'll feel an energy between them. Okay, at least everybody I've talked to pretty much feels something. Some feel heat, the most common are heat and pressure. But it's by focusing on that energy with one word, heal, that I've managed to control my blood pressure so when it does get high, I'm not as fast as my father was. It takes me about a half an hour to drop my blood pressure about 40 points. When I had the problem few days, last week sometime, when I had my problem there, it hit 190 and it took me about a half an hour, maybe 45 minutes to drop it under 140. At which point I felt safe going to sleep. Prior to that, I was a bit of a mess. Because I knew if I went to sleep at that point, I was a dead man. I've done that before. I'm just not interested in repeating the process. Now, because I knew, I wasn't, when I'm checking my blood pressure, usually it's first thing in the morning before I do anything. Not after I've done my exercises. But, like I said, where it comes to physical health, there's so many people that do like a half an hour in the morning, 45 minutes in the morning, this sort of thing. My exercise, I came out well. My exercise runs, realistically, I think about 5 minutes. That's it. But doing that 5 minutes, I am now able to function through the day. And I have dropped in the last, I've been dropping about 1.5 to 2 pounds, 1.5 to 2 pounds a week by watching what I'm eating and by doing regular exercise to get my blood working in the morning. Cuts down on a whole lot of problems. But the reality is you get the clutter out of your house. Oh, that's a box I gotta get emptied tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, today. My son, for whatever reason, likes shredding the paper. Hey, I'm quite happy with the idea. So I'll leave it for him. But, very important little factor for me is these books that I've been working on. Where is it? This one here. This one here, The Birth of the Wolf Pack. Actually, that's the first book. I've got these 3 and 2 out. Okay. That's The Birth of the Wolf Pack, and that's the end of an epoch. Now, the nice part about it, in my eyes, is I was trying to pare down the amount of excess copies, soft copies I've got, because I got way too many. Well, I managed to sort it out yesterday. For me, major breakthrough, because I thought I had lost the whole soft copy. Where did I put them? Right there. I thought I'd lost the whole soft copy. However, I found the copy that's working, like the working copy, and I've deleted the other ones that are in the area, so I'm happy with it. But I am happy to say that now, Book 12 itself, out of a targeted roughly 400 pages, I've got 203 written, and about out of approximately 100,000 words per copy, per volume, I'm looking at approximately, well, at literally 40,000 words written, just over 40,000. So now I can get into full editing and head for print. Well, I can't head for print. By the time I get finished editing, I'll be able to head for print. But now I can't start it on it. And again, this whole idea of the list. Okay, the reason you put a list together is very simple. Okay, if you take a look at a big project, you're looking at a lot of trying to get it finished. But the thing is, with a big project, if you don't get it finished in one sitting, you're going to come away in all likelihood going, I didn't get anything done. If you break the task down into 15-minute to half-hour tasks, you can check them off as you go along. And let's face it, as I wrote in this one, the backbone, where is it? This is the backbone of the way I turned my life around. And you'll see it's really complicated. Okay, nothing like sarcasm. But in this book, I explain a very simple thing. If you're targeting a room, we'll call it the living room. Okay, you desire to clean your living room. It's been a while. Okay, but you want to bring it up. You desire to bring it up to speed. Okay, break it down into smaller chunks. Clear the coffee table, clear the furniture, clear the shelves, clear the floor, vacuum the floor. You break it down into 15-minute to half-hour tasks. And what you'll find happen is you get them finished. Now, the thing is, let's assume that it's going to take you combined 2 hours to finish fixing the room. If you break it down, if you do it that way and you don't get it complete, you now have to find another 2-hour area, 2-hour chunk of time that you can actually put aside to work on the living room. And then, that's a problem. Then if you get pulled away, it's the same problem. But if you break it down into tasks, and let's say you only get the coffee table done before you get pulled away, you've got something done. You check it off, you add something new to the list. Okay. But because that way you can look at your list at the end of the day and go, I'm done. Okay, now I'm not perfect at it by any means. Quite often I forget to put my list together like I did last night before I go to bed. But if you do it effectively, and I'm getting better at it, I am not perfect. Okay, I call myself a spiritual guide because the tools I offer are the ones that I've been using that have turned my life around, that have changed my energy around. Now, one of the videos I did, I was talking about fear, okay, and how we are taught to fear. And somebody responded to it and made a very simple observation. So I'm going to thank that individual. Okay, and like I said, I do not use names, so I'm not. They know who they are, but I'm going to thank them very much, and I'm going to pass this message on directly from them, as it were. Not that they asked me to. Okay, but this is why I said working together. I came back to this world for one very simple reason, and that is to remind everyone in existence that working together, we can make this a better world for everybody, for virtually everybody. And this is just an example of that. I make an observation. Somebody gives a little bit of observation, in this case, a critical piece. Because as they pointed out, way back when, fear used to be a primal tool for survival. It was absolutely necessary. Now, by the way, I am paraphrasing. Fear kept us alive. And this is why I said fear is a good thing in some ways. But now it happens to be, as they pointed out, it's being used as a marketing ploy. The message that we have to remind ourselves of is very simple. Now, Post pointed out that we're not raising adults or raising kids, we're raising adults. And this whole transition from using fear as a marketing ploy, okay, is a very critical factor. Okay, that's got to be shifted so that it can be used in small doses as a motivational thing. Now, prime example there is when I started watching my weight, I was at 249 pounds. Now, you can call it fear because I took a look at the 250 and went, no way. Well, now I'm down under 205. Okay, it was that fear or that focal point that went, we're not going there anymore. Okay, so this is what we have to do, and this is one of the neat things that I got looking at, where it came to the birth of the wolf pack. Now, this book is science fiction, science fantasy, and I'll be putting a post out later today. As a matter of fact, I'm making a note for that right now regarding its background. Now, it's not designed as fear. Okay, it is designed from the standpoint of the world collapsed, and here's a small cluster of people that have banded together from all over the place. Okay, and in all fairness, from different time frames, because it ties in the concept of past lives, of people remembering past lives, of the soul living on and just getting new vehicles, that sort of thing. It's a complicated roundabout way. But the point is, a small group of people can affect the local area. What I'm here to remind people of is that to change the path of society is going to take a lot of us. Okay. So what I'm just doing here is just because my left hand is not as of yet working quite right. While I'm on the video, I will use my right hand to write. Afterwards, when I don't have the video running, I will work more on my left hand. Now, the thing about it is you have to ask yourself, are you content with the way your life is? Never mind whether anybody else is happy with it. Okay, you're the one that's got to be content with your life in order to become productive, in order to become, successful in your eyes. Okay, so I've got these neat little issues that I have to deal with. But we can do it. Yes, I keep turning back. Much as I can think on multiple levels at once, I run into some interesting snags on occasion. Okay, so, and the way I look at it, I'm going, where is it? I do not see it, so that's okay. Yeah, figures. Clean my desk off, and now I can't see it. Now I can't find what I'm looking for. Anyway, you figure out what you're not content with. Now, my office, I'm content, aside from the fact I forgot to dig my pen out. But I did remember my coffee. By figuring out what you're content with, you can start making adjustments to the way things are going. I feel like such a dingbat on occasion. Okay, those two are there. Now, I have a number of different topics I'll be covering over the next number of weeks. Well, number of months really. Okay, where it comes to my live feed on Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay, now these are some of the topics that I'm planning on talking about. Okay, I've got, and I'm just listing them in the order that I thought about them. Okay, a Tartarian, one of my Tartarian lives. Now, for those of you that are not entirely aware, somebody phrased it that way, but basically it boils down to a lifetime I spent in hell, and I do mean literally that neat little place with the incredibly hot tubs, the terribly warm hot springs, the whole 9 yards. So, my life there. I'm going to be talking about walk-ins, numerology. But when I'm talking about numerology, most people work with Pythagorean numerology, the standard stuff you read so much about. Okay, I don't know what to call it, so I just look at it and go, I talk about base 12, and I will do that on one of these days. I'm going to talk about the hiccups in astrology itself. I am going to talk about, one week I will talk about religion. Okay, and I'm talking group and the overall religious spiritual guideline sort of thing. Not one religion. I'm not here to pick on anybody. Because frankly, we have free will. We have freedom of choice. What you don't have freedom of is freedom of consequence. Okay, I will be talking about the elephant race. I will be talking about doppelgangers and how that works. And of course, yeah, that's pretty much where that works. This Saturday, okay, on June 18th, I will have some of the figures I've been painting out, like I said I would. This is just a reminder, somewhat for you, but an idea for you now. Two things. One, of that list, and you may have to go back over it again, if there's one in particular that you would like, okay, because these don't have to come out in that order. Okay, let me know in the comments below. Or if you've got a different topic you'd like to know about, let me know, and I will add it to the list at the very least, and we will get to it. Which is why I've got this issue of that somebody asked about the issue of numerology and gematria in the Vatican. Now I'm still looking into that. I know it was stated, okay, but I will take a look at that, and that's one of the topics that somebody has asked when I was on the live feed that somebody asked about. So this is how I keep my life running in the right order. Okay, how I change the direction my energy is going. Now, as you can see, if you look back at my old video, right, I used to have, yeah, you can't see that, but my hair used to come all the way down, way past my shoulders. Okay, as you can see, it doesn't reach quite that far anymore. I have gotten used to the fact that it was cut a little too short from my standpoint, but that's because it was standing up. It's amazing how little it stands up once you put a comb through it, by the way. Okay, so I'm taking this sort of thing to turn my life around. And the thing is, it took me 56 years to figure out that I was going down a path that was completely backwards. Okay, my hope by doing this is that you will get some directives where you can avoid that kind of a problem, where it doesn't take you 56 years to figure it out. Okay, this is where this whole concept of when I was growing up, the idea was never show your kids what your finances look like. Because if you show your kids what your finances look like, they'll get stressed out and they don't need that. They're children. Which is technically true. But here's the kicker. If you don't show your kids how your actual finances work, number one, they don't understand why you can't afford to do something. Okay. They also, much more importantly, don't know what they're up to until they get out in the physical world. And when they get out there, that's where you're going to let them learn how money works. There's a problem. I can tell you that right off the bat. I've been there and done that. My kids didn't quite get to that point. I was really lucky. Okay, and maybe it was just foresight on my side. I don't know. But with my eldest, I kept him in the loop on how finances were working. Okay, he got out, he dug himself into a little bit of a hole, but I'll tell you, the kid has done a phenomenal job in getting his control over his finances in order. Okay, now I can only hope, because I doubt I'll be around when my son is 60. I mean, let's face it. He's 25 now. So for me to be around, I'm going to have to live another 35 years, which I can certainly do. I'm only 59. I'm not exactly old. I'm just old enough to know better and young enough not to care too much. That's wrong. Okay, now I am putting this neat little issue together of the couple of tasks. Like I said, I did not actually turn around and put the list together last night, which I strongly encourage you to do. Make sure if you're doing the list method absolutely on the money, you've got tasks on it, at least 3 that are 15 minutes to a half hour in length. That way you can see them getting wrapped up. Okay, but don't forget, in those lists, mark down that you're taking time out for lunch, you're taking time out to sleep. Okay, now, of course, you don't actually need to require that list to go to sleep because you get tired. If you've got the 3, when you get up, you'll have 3 on the go already. Okay, so at this point, I've got okay, let's try English, shall we? At this point, I've got 5 tasks on my list. Okay, most of which will be wrapped up right quick. Now, the nice part about what I've got on my list right now, I finish off the journey. Okay, I finish off record. Excuse me. Hate hiccups. This is a live recording, by the way, which means I'm not changing anything. I'll double check the date. I'll double check the date and post it as is. Okay. Now, with that in mind, okay, I've got these done. I finished the journey off. I've got to post it. I've got 3 other tasks on my list that I will deal with. Okay, but I will be back again tomorrow. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.